So welcome to the Donny Chaingang live from the roads from the Lincoln Grand Prix. I've been on the mic all day at the Time Trial, the National Time Trial Championships, and we've got a really, really busy day for you to come up on the Donny Chaingang. Russ is on duty with Great Ormond Street Hospital. Can't pedal in two places simultaneously, but it's been a busy day. We've seen great racing, and don't forget, if you are around Lincoln over the weekend, come on down, get yourselves down to the side of the road. Got great action. We've got the Crit Championships tomorrow night. We've got an uphill eliminator dash. And we also have a great championship going up Michael Gate. As you can tell, let's give you a quick tour of the live studio. We're linked in via the Full Speed Events camper van. And as you can see, we are literally in a field in the middle of nowhere, coming to you live. High-tech stuff that was achieved, that great padding shot by moving what is essentially the TV screen around here in the van. So hopefully mobile broadcast, we're going to get you the gang through. If life couldn't be any harder, let's see what's happening with our jersey, because it looks like we've got a whole load of yellow. Now, our beacon tonight, as we said, is not Russ. It is this man, Jimmy Allen, a.k.a. the Wolf. Now, with the time being so tight, we may try to dial in with him later on. However, at the moment, we're going to go with the tech that we've got working and seems to be coming smooth. So could be very, very interesting. Geoff, no, I'm not going to flash the lights. We need the battery power to run the gang out there. Jimmy is keeping it all smooth, so looks like Jimmy Allen is should be in Mungie and Kit. He's got this yellow beacon definitely above Jimmy Allen. I'm hoping the red beacon is above our red. So with 1 minute 20, let's first of all go straight across to the route. Now the route, it's our usual. It is Greater London Flat. It's our standard route, our go-to, our default, our way that gives us a benchmark. And we are going to be heading out the red section, the 5.7k, leading 3 laps at 11.6 kilometres, finishing at the mall on the mall sprint banner at 40.5k, with a warm down to the blue banner of about 2.5 kilometres, total elevation 135. Now, don't believe all it says on your screen. It is not Russ Downing as your yellow beacon. It is Jimmy Allen. And our red beacon is Rich Orrell. In fact, let's just change that as we speak. The power of the internet hopefully is such that you can see that. Jimmy, not like that. You can tell it's been a long day. Alan is now our yellow beacon. He's replacing. There you go. Absolutely amazing. So you can change the kit. Let's see how the gang are rolling. So you know the score. You know the profile of this. Rich Orrell knows it inside out. He's red. Now the profile of the course, courtesy of our fantastic friends and fellow viewer Ben and all the team on there. The course is our favourite course. It's one that we use all the time. You're heading out and around the start loop and going across onto this. So we come in at the right hand side, we drop down the mall, so that's basically top right hand corner down towards the join of the Y, and then coming in and across up through past the Palace, coming back down and in, and then it is going to go in down onto the river. We're going to go along the riverside, come up the climb towards the top left hand side, very gradual dip down and in under the underpass, and then up to the top of the very highest point. Our chain gang already up and rolling, so let's dive across so you can tell we were cutting it fine with time to spare to our riders who are out on course somewhere over there. Got to try and get the cameras to work today, so we've got get me pointing right over that direction. There we go. So just watching a certain Mr. West at the moment, and the chain gang rolling out now. Our reds all are chain gang all under the control, our red beacons of Gail Phillips, who we're in with at the moment. And as you can see, Gail currently just keeping the pace high, 111, 112 watts in here, just keeping everybody holding nice and tightly together. So let's, without further ado, dive into the ride. Enough of me sat in the camper, linking into the studio, linking into YouTube, and then coming back out again. And let's get out there with the kit on. So here we go, into the ride. So here we go, the roller coaster starter. Jimmy Allen, of course, one of the... Good to see you, Simon Runner's going to be getting one of these caps on Sunday. Now, all of the profits of the Lincoln Grand Prix has to go to the Lincoln Grand Prix. And that means that it's going to be a great support for the riders on for the chain gang. Going to be very entertaining indeed, seeing how we go. So let's see how we manage to keep this rolling. So at the moment, everything up and running now. Let's have a little bit of a check. We're going to just keep a little run up above the course, and it looks like it is a little bit strung out at the moment. It is a little bit of a run around. Yeah, thanks very much. Tip me some beer money with the next month's subscription. Ice cream would do at this moment in time. Voice a little bit hoarse. We are literally linking here, there, and everywhere. It's taking a little bit of testing. We did say we've been aiming to be able to make this event-proof, future-proof it. If you want to know where your subscription money is going when you put it in, we goes into a top-class kit that means that we can get away with doing this on the way through. Literally, the presentation's finished at 5:30. In the meantime, I'm now up alongside the Royal Observer Corps station up here, and there's an old Royal Observer Corps battery actually out to my left. Just taking a look across up to the top of the biggest mast in the area. Basically, go to Lincoln, look across, and you'll see the mast. You'll find the Full Speed Events van there. Now, quick reminder, guys, please stay off the front. Try and stay with our yellow beacon. This is Jimmy Allen. Now, Jimmy, as you can see, has got currently another game of under-9s football going on. The aim here is to stay with the yellow beacon, ladies and gents. Please don't just follow the numbers. It is key that you stay with our leader and not go off charging down the road. Don't think you can't be seen. Yeah, rule number 2, I'm loving Jimmy's rules actually. Don't chase the front. Definitely the case. So just taking a little bit of a run back down the group. Now, we should have Rich Orrell with a red beacon up above him. It looks like the red beacon not sitting above Rich for some reason. Now, we know that the tour has launched, and Rich Orrell, this is our official red beacon, ladies and gents. If you're watching live, this is your man in the green bike with the Donny kit on his back with that Downing Cycling coach kit. He is the man. We have a disappearing red beacon. There have been a lot of changes today. As you can tell, a lot of people wearing the yellow jersey. And interestingly, we had the winner of the very first stage of the women's tour on Zwift. Well, that is April Tacey, another of our regular Donny Chaingang riders out there. Becky Story out and racing, and all the Bro Noctis squad as well. But this is going to be our red beacon group. So we have Rich Orrell, we've got Ian Taylor in here, so Ian in there as well. Just taking a little look who else is rolling around with yellow. Craig Genther is in there, that's what we want to see. And we've got Saxton in this group. Apologies if I don't get first names. Just trying to keep a check of everybody on a multiple numbers of devices in the middle of nowhere. It's always interesting fun. So Saxton, Jeff Say still up there. Oscar Saxton, well, welcome Oscar to the chain gang. Keith Richardson is on the route as well. Looks like Ian Bale. Looks like we've got Tom Elliott's back in with us. Good to have Tom back in. Let's see if Tom's in here. Oh, he's in a yellow jersey. That's going to make my life really fun tonight. Light Swift, what are you trying to do to me, man? Definitely. Right. Now, let's take a little bit of a look up the course. Good to see Geoff Watson is in here. Is that Mr. Matt Winston, the one and only Matt Winston, the DS Matt Winston? It is indeed Matt Winston. Welcome to Matt Winston. Welcome back onto the chain gang for winter. We're not going anywhere. Well, we are. Currently, I am broadcasting to you live from the middle of the Waltz. and we were looking at it. Should we just bin it off? The answer was no. The aim is to keep this working all the way through. Just going to say a quick hi to Emma, our yellow beacon in the women's WOW DCG, the women's DCG. Tell me, yeah, don't worry, it's the closest I'm ever getting to you yellow. I know I'm actually gutted I'm not riding because it would be a chance to get my avatar done on yellow. So we're looking for a nice tight blob. That's what we're getting. Hi, Hunt. Watching Emma here. I'll be home on Sunday. After 5 races, 3 championships, 4 days. And I might have a voice by the end of it. You're going to have a nice, quiet week next week. Honest to Gov. Now, let's have a little bit of a look. Ruby Isaacs is in with us. Good to see Ruby back in. Emma Dooley in here. Is that Emma I see in the gang? Emma in here as well. Good to see the team in here. So let's have a look. The front, Andy Scoddon is back in the gang. Peter Drabble in here. Good to see Gary Pattinson in the group. Bertie's back. Good to see Bertie. Bertie, you doing? Oh, look at that, Bertie. I can rely on you. What good stuff, mate. In the non-yellow jersey kit. This could be very interesting. The money in yellow is the rider in yellow. She's gone past the rider in yellow, the female rider in yellow, chasing the male rider in yellow. So let's take a little bit of a look up here. Phil OZK up in the group. Looks like Kimberley just up the road here. Stuart Kimberley in. Andy Farrell is in the group as per normal. Good to see Andy back on the gang. Dr. D in here. Chris Iredale in the team. Joff Watson. So Joff in here. Let's take a little bit. Look, Joff in the Bikes and Beers jersey. That's what we want to see. Looks like just taking a little bit of a run up the road. The group all holding together quite well here. Now, just watching Tim Cooper at the moment. I would imagine Tim's got his tech sorted. Let's face it, he's the man who helps us out with all of the tech. So, Tim in this group as well. Just a quick reminder, guys, make sure you follow the instructions of the Wolf. That's our yellow beacon. He is the man charged with keeping it all together. Russ on duty down with Great Ormond Street Hospital. And so it now falls to Jimmy Allen to patrol the front. Rich Orrell is our red beacon. He's down on the list. He's down with this, but unfortunately the glitch in the system just showing that Rich is out there. So let's just drop a thumbs up to Rich Orrell. He's doing great work. He might not have a beacon, but you know what? He's currently a definite hero. As we just give him a quick thumbs up, a quick ride on. You can just see it hovering and going into his back pocket. Craig Genther, no doubt, helping out as well. So Craig, Rich, Jess Cecil at the back here. Oh my goodness. Is it the one and only Andy Hawes? It is 5 weeks on the road for Andy. Andy Hawes back on the chain gang once again, and on his Pinarello once again. Choosing a nice grey and black number to go with the streets of London at the moment. No green Lincolnshire walls for him, that is for sure. So underneath the archway we go. I'm loving the joke telling. It's mental. Keith Richardson in here. Let's take a look. A late start for Kieran Smith. Kieran in here. Kieran on the lightweight. That's an interesting bike, Kieran. Bike choice for a flat, fast course. Kieran's still got his lightweight bike on from last time. Let's see how it's going now. Darren Tashel Waller in here. Darren again choosing just to ease back off, so he'll be stretching his legs back into the group. John Garfer in here. We're busy little day. Looks like Lawrence Coyle is in here. Rich Langmead in the group. Lots of members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang supporters. Look, a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Don't forget the next set of memberships will come out in November. In the meantime, don't forget we've got a great giveaway coming up the last week of October on the Donny Chaingang. That is for members of the DCG gang from our fantastic sponsors, Halo. A quick reminder, the sponsors are the guys who keep all of this together. So whether that is Halo, it's OTE, and before anybody doubts for a second that we don't stay on brand at the Donny Chaingang. Kept me going all day long today. I haven't had a chance to eat. So, OTE, Velo Skin. Actually, I could just show you the shaving how it's super smooth, my chin, but I better not do the camera. Nobody needs to see that this time of night. Veloskin at 1080. Oakley's on, of course, all day long today. A Velo viewer as well as the team at Grand Tour Coffee. A Gritty, of course, with the sustainable sports apparel with discounts for members of the DCG gang. These are the guys who make the Chain Gang happen. They're the people who allow us to devote all of this time. So the sooner we all support them and make sure that we only post things, positive things about people, keep the place a positive world, the better. Make sure you support the people who support your sport. Remember, the guys who sponsored the Donny Chaingang, they are literally bringing you this ride. Without them, we can't do it. Never mind just getting the outside broadcast, we'd never get in all the way through. So the joke's still coming thick and fast. It looks like Andy Hawes just starting to make a bit of a group around him at the back. It's going to be a Andy Hawes, Rich Orrell bus at the back. As I think we're just seeing Kieran Smith stopping. Has he stopped for a bike change? No, he hasn't. So he's not stopped for a bike change? Not yet. So Dickinson in this group just getting a little bit strung out. We're just going to take a little bit of a roll back down here. Just seeing Kieran Smith on a bit of a mission here. Just getting on to Greg Pillsworth. Now these two are super fast, super quick riders. Just watching them coming up this slope. They're going to take this turn around, this U-turn, and then they're heading back down again. Just checking in. We just see. No, we might even be able to make a quick call back across to Mr. Allen. We'll see. So it looks like the bus doing fine. A few seconds back on the main gang at the moment. We're just going to run up the road. So this is the bus at the moment. Just Rich Earl, looks like Ian Taylor in the bus. Just seeing Ian Bale in here as well. Just all watching these riders coming through. Now, Jimmy Allen, of course, is the man who will follow the watts per kilo religiously. You can see Mr. Booth already changed to his traditional strip. So just keeping an eye as he comes down this straight here. Looking good at the moment. So if you're going to come down to Lincoln to come and say hello, please do give us a wave. Throw us a coffee from the coffee van that'll be down there. Don't forget, of course, we've got great racing coming up over the next 3 days. It is absolutely essential that you support the event. The more you support the event, the more likely we are to see this monument continue. Russell, of course, a regular rider and a winner of the Lincoln Grand Prix. The Grand Prix taking place on Sunday, both the women's and the men's. But remember, of course, we are going to be there all over the 4 days, so you can catch up with us on site all the way through. There are gaps going to be down to the site fairly early tomorrow, down to the Lincoln Grand Prix finisher for the Crit Champs build up, and then we're going to be heading across to the same area for the hill climb, the Eliminator Hill Climb Challenge. That is going to be taking place, and that is going to be all the way through the Saturday evening, and then on Sunday, of course, we have the main Chaingang. Now, Andy Hawes at the moment just a little bit distanced from the oral group, from the beacon at the back, so just keeping a check on Andy at the moment. There's Jim Flynn as well. Looks like Jim just joining in and currently kicking out a couple of watts per kilo. So there are a number of riders off the back of the group at the moment. So just going to take a little bit of a check. Where is Mr. Orrell? Mr. Orrell is just trying to chase onto the group. Andy Hawes just off the back. We're just seeing Andy just being distanced a little bit. Andy, of course, has been busy working on the Women's Tour of Britain, as well as all of the Tour of Britain, and on the 3 races that make up the Tour Series. So really, really busy day, busy month, busy half a year pretty much for Andy. His time, though, well spent bringing us all those races. So just seeing him make his way down this course. Now, just going to jump in to Jeff Sayside. Now, Jim Flynn, where is Jim? He says he's in the middle. Easier said than done finding Jim on the course, because we do get jumps up and down. Now we're just going to work our way back. Chris Idell at the moment just dropping back. Craig Genther dropping back, and he is here. Rich Horrell's here. Mr. Flynn, he says he's in the middle. Well, I trust you. We'll go with what you're saying. I hope you know where you are better than I do. So Andy Hawes pushing on at 3 watts per kilo at the moment, just struggling to get onto the back of the group. Going to need a few bodies going back for him here. Need a string of riders to give a hand. So the shout has gone out. We've basically got Rich Orrell, Craig Genther and Andy Hawes trying to work their way up in towards that front group. You can just see working way up. So remember, if you're a stronger rider, go back and help out. That's the way the Chaingang teamwork works. That's the wonders of the Donny Chaingang. Loads of people coming up today saying they're absolutely loving the Chaingang. Even if they don't ride it, they've been watching it, talking to people who've never heard of the Chaingang, trying to explain it. And do you know what? I turned around and said, it's really easy. It's the best cycling community, bar none. It is a product of every single person who goes on there. We're a real cross-section in society, but we unite by one thing. We all go out to have fun and enjoy our Tuesday and Thursday nights. That's what it was set up for. That's what Russ and I envisaged at first time round when we were talking about doing it in the very first lockdown. And guess what's happened? We've got riders joining on together. Now, the back of the group at the moment, I think Jeff Sayside just off the back. Craig Herring is as well. So Herring just dropping off the back here, just going to try and bring more riders on. Rob Wimble just rolling around the back here. Keith Richard doing the same. Now, Jess Saysall more than capable of getting on. He's a 6.2 watts per kilo rider kicking out at the moment. He just needs a little bit of a hand, I suspect, from the gang. So here we go. The riders steadily making their way back into the group. So 2 groups just starting to form up the road. We're just going to jump up with the yellow beacon group. If you are in the front group, knock it off. Really easy. It's a little bit fractured at the moment. Remember, this is all about getting the whole group together. So for those riders that are new to the Chaingang, we do operate a policy. It's really easy. You get a warning. If you deliberately rip the gang up, you then get a warning. Now, that could be for negative messaging. It could be for inappropriate language. It could be for failing to obey the ride leader's instruction. It sounds really harsh. We give people formal warnings. The reason we do it is that we want to keep the chain gang together. It's there for everybody. So if you're a repeat offender, you'll get a warning. Following that, you will get a withdrawal of access. Remember, the Donny Chaingang a private event, because that means that if people basically destroy it by riding and not following the instructions when the ride leader stays go to yellow, then guess what? We have the ability not to shed link, and basically you don't get access. Now that's done on a temporary or a permanent basis, but remember, the aim of the game is to get that chain gang all together. It's stretched out at the moment on what is basically a flat section. Of course, not even on the roller coasters, the guys need to start working together. This is where you learn how to ride, how to race Swift efficiently, effectively, get a great workout. But you need to follow the instructions of the ride leader. Everybody needs to get everything together. If the group doesn't come together, Jimmy won't call the sprint, and it will be on the command. It will be capital letters SPRINT. Till that point, everybody needs together. So remember, Jimmy Allen won't be sprinting. He's going to be staying at the 2.5 watts per kilo. So post-sprint, everybody will need to come back together again. So Craig Herring is have pricked up on the basis there is likely to be a potential sprint as we come in, but that's only when it is called by Jimmy Allen, our ride leader. So Andy Hawes, is this really your first gang since the 26th of August? That is some doing. Very impressive to get in here now. Ticker's just sat in with the group doing the just over 2 watts per kilo, just feeling the pressure with that front group still continuing to split. You'll soon be taking a run up the road and just working out where that split has happened. So the guys on the front not doing big numbers, guys on the back though not making much progress in closing that gap down. Let's take a little bit of a run up towards the front. So basically, if you're right on the front, you are in the wrong place. You are definitely for sure that is true. We're going to run up here because we're looking to see where that gap has gone. Essentially, if you are in front of Darren Tattershaw-Waller here, you're in the wrong place. You are up the road. So anybody in front of Darryl Tattershaw-Waller, you're in the wrong place because Darryl is the person trying to join this group back in again. So it looks like one gap closed. Still a group of Muppets off the front. Guys, knock it off. Get on the back. I haven't used the word Muppet for a long time. So we'll take a little bit of a look. Guys, knock the front pace off on the front. Get the group back together again. Jimmy won't call it if we're not all together. I quite like to see a sprint. I've watched time trials all day long. I quite like to see a sprint. But you gotta stay off the front, guys. We're going to see Andy Ross is back with us again. Andy will be approving of today's events. Of course, the man who works at Bradford, man responsible for Bingley Music Live so many times. Good to see Andy in here. Definitely a bit of a event legend around the Yorkshire area. Good to see Andy's back in with us once more. So, big test in here now. Gang is back together. This is what we want to see. If in doubt, use your maps, guys. Make sure you click the group. Aim is to not go on the front. The aim is to stay around the yellow. Don't do too much work. Sit around the gang. Now, it is about fine-tuning your effort, about how you put that effort in, and it is about making sure you learn the nuances of riding. The new draft, it is more difficult to stay in the right position. It's really easy to move up now. Let's see where everybody is at the moment. OCK in here, just moving his way up the course a little bit. So good to have Adam Mills in with us, riding nice and smoothly in that yellow beacon again, just starting to fracture. So if you're up at the front, you're riding on your own. You can't see anyone around you. You're not in Elysium. You're off the front, not the pace off. Let's get some sound from that. Swift in. It looks like we managed to debug that little bit of the system. Good little test of this, so hopefully everybody now back. We've almost got full standard service on the Donny Chaingang as we make our way along here. The sound levels all playing very interesting things on the way through, but it looks like we're pretty much about where we would aim to be. So thank you for your patience whilst we move the nods and faders from our lovely remote location. Definitely need a bit more ground tour coffee. Although we've probably not been in the studio, coffee's not quite as on tap here as it is out and about. I've got to say thank you to the Rougher H fan today. They have kept me fueled up with coffee. They've been making sure everybody has got plenty of fuel up on, caffeinated up, and doing a great job of supporting the Lincoln Grand Prix. And make sure you grab a cap, because of course all those caps going out, and making sure that the Grand Prix continues this monument of the sport. But here on Donny Chaingang, our group all together, all courtesy our fantastic sponsors, Halo, Gritty, along with all the rest of the guys you see across the bottom of your screen, plus plenty of others who come in and give us support. So if you want to get some support, get in touch. Apologies if you've been in touch and haven't got back to you today. Oddly enough, been kind of busy commentating on a national championship time trial, and that has kept me kind of occupied for most of today. Our riders, though, focused on the climb up here as we run alongside Green Park out to the right-hand side of the riders. This group coming around well. There's 3 laps in total of the circuit. All of our riders, though, looking good as they come up this climb, and this coming up to the high point of the course on the north side of the river, the roads that we use on Swift. So riders on the way round in towards the centre of the mile. The riders on the way through now after a sub 8-second time for this. Let's see who is going to take the sprint points here today. There's some big numbers coming out, but you've got to go from the middle of the bunch towards the front of the bunch to get a super fast time. We're going to watch those times starting to come in. Let's see who's going to take it. The fastest time at the moment is about 12:8.9. Now let's see what we're getting. We've got some serious power on the way out, but the question is, who's going to get it now? Kieran Smith with a 9.31, Drabble a 9.83, tied with Craig Herring on a 9.83 as well. In the men's, in the women, a 10.66. That is our leading time. Emma from the AO scored an 11.22, 11.48 from Gail Phillips. Emma Dooley 12.424, a 12.96 behind. So Sonia Inslee going, absolutely nailing it, good time. So Sonia Inslee, the fastest of the women's time here. Time for the group to get itself back together again, but this rider absolutely flying, you see, quickly off the pace here. But Sonia Inslee at the moment, what a ride by Sonia, absolutely nailing that sprint, and currently our women's sprint leader. So I hope everybody got some seriously quick times, everybody moving together. That works really, really well. Now just going to take a little bit of a run back through the pack, so we see. So let's keep a check. So this is where we're going to see. Remember, it's all about jumping in through from the back of the group to the front. Looks like Miss Cookie in on board. Good to have Sarah with us. Welcome, Sarah, to the Donny Chaingang. Sorry, I'm sure, of course, one of our regulars in action and racing. She's in action previous weekend, of course, out at the National Cyclocross Series, and see her in action. No doubt. Next weekend, coming up, that'll be up at Falkirk. Now, just keeping a check on these time, and Rich Earl and Sean Waller just sprinting the way back on Rich Earl, because he's going to get serious work out here as he tries to push himself back up onto the group. The Craig Genther just helping out the back with Keith Richardson. Looks like Saxton just back with Small. Now remember, this is all about trying to keep nice and smooth with the group, and looks like the gang just starting to come back in together again. Great to see so many people working well. Great control here by Jimmy Allen, the Wolf himself, and Jimmy going on the DI gut disc there, as well as the deep front. Jimmy Allen, our leader at the moment, in the yellow jersey, along with, oddly enough, plenty of others. He's the only man with that beacon over his head. So Neil Birmingham still looking pretty cool as a cucumber in that all-black kit, making his way around those turns just alongside Carl Johnson, just out our left of the screen and off to the right. So don't forget, if you're going down to the event, make sure that you say hi to everybody on the team from the crosscast regularly out and about. So you'll see people like Neil, Bruce and myself at the cross. Now looks like James Allen actually changed his jersey, but it's stage yellow on my screen. Yeah, it's perils of being in a little late probably. So just keeping a check on the Jimmy looking pretty smooth in the group. They can remember wow, DCGR was only Wednesday, so Donny Chaingang led by Downing Cycling. Coach rider Emma Payne out on course. The boss, given by everybody to the women's yellow beacon, a ride on the course there. So Emma going to ride on as well, and doing a great job. girl first in the gang just alongside Emma there to our stalwarts who keep the chain gang on the go. So just keep an eye on the slow tickers in here. The gang working well together, and good to see Matt Gilmore back in here, collecting bells in the group. Mr. Mayland back again, twice in a row. So Josh in the gang, and looks like still on that basic swift bike. We need to get some miles under this man's legs. Good to have Josh in there, still holding tightly onto the group. So really interesting to watch the messages whilst we see the rows on the way through. Simon running to make sure he gets his timing right with going for a break on the way through. Remember Jimmy Allen, of course, known for all sorts of different places where he's caught this. He is notorious for being a sly wolf. We are going to see if we can get hold of the one and only Jimmy Allen. This might be easier said than done, but you never know. We're going to try and push the tech to the limit. Let's see if we can break the whole of the outside broadcast and get hold of Jimmy. This might take a little bit of doing some talk amongst yourselves for a couple of minutes. This is where things are going to get really, really jumpy if we're not careful. Let's see what happens. So here we go. Hopefully we're going to have the one and only Jimmy Allen. Jimmy, how you doing?
Hi mate. Yeah, great. This is fantastic, isn't it? Nice blob.
It's a great
Easy.
blob. I tell you what, I'm really enjoying this. I actually get to sit down and watch today. I've got a seat in here. It's looking really smooth. They're doing a great job.
Brilliant, yeah. Put a nice little sprint in there and give you something to sort of commentate on for a moment. And it's all worked out pretty well. Everybody's playing ball.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I remember this sprinting thing because, of course, today's been time trial day at the National Championship, so nice to see a little bit of explosive action. Although people were saying today was a pretty tough day in all-round riders. Really interesting to see Connor Swift, regular on the Donny Chaingang, not up there in the medals, not able to challenge, and actually got caught and passed by a rider or two on the way through. So watch out in the results, that's for sure. But the women who ride the Chaingang doing better, it has to be said, with some of our regulars right up there in the mix. So been really interesting to watch. In terms of the ride today, it's a great gang. It's been really well blobbed up. Initial early shenanigans were quickly dispelled, and everybody loving the sprint by the look of it.
Yeah, I think part of it's the Zwift thing, isn't it? The little gaps happen in it, and then you almost have to stop pedalling at the front, and it's the old Zwift quirkiness. But yeah, it's all together now, and hopefully we'll get to the end in one piece.
Well, hopefully so. It's good to see your heart rate is absolutely flying up through the roof at 130 beats a minute.
Everybody's panicking. I told you, don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Everybody's panicking already.
I know.
Chill out.
But it's only, I must admit, I'm probably guilty of a little bit, because I did say in the write-up that went out to the members of the DCG gang that, of course, you are notorious for never calling it in the same place twice and being a little bit slower.
Absolutely.
So we'll see where it's going to go. Certainly, I think as we start to see just little groups fraction, people are just starting to pick the pace up. We're on our way through lap number 2, aren't we? So it's working. Tim Cooper's just put a request in that I keep you on the phone for another 17k. I'm not sure.
It's a bad line.
Oh, the tech might not work for that long either. Just give it a check. I'm literally checking the battery power. You can see I'm just checking over the side, and we reckon that the setup here is good for 300 hours of commentary. I'm not sure we can wait that long for the go. That is for sure.
It's settled down again. That's okay. But I reckon we can. I don't know, anything. I would say anywhere between 1 and 18 kilometres. Something like that.
So, that gives the nice margin of sliding on there then, Jimmy. Well, we're going to let you get back to it. Thank you very much, Jimmy. And you never know, we might catch up with you after the event if we're all still working well.
Yeah, will do, mate.
Cheers, Jimmy.
See you in a bit.
So great to catch up with Jimmy as we dialed into him, and good to see Jimmy still working hard at 130 beats per minute. As we just take a little bit of a look back behind this gang, just starting to see 1 or 2 riders detached from that main group as the pace starts to pick up, just start working our way back. So looks like Sonia just having to stop. Oh no, the go has gone just at the moment I go back. Jimmy Allen, flipping heck, mate. I go back to go take a look at what's happening, and the go has gone early. We're not even at the underpass here. This is a sneaky move by the Wolf. He's really gone to make those groups form early here. So it is an early call. Everybody scrambling for wheels. I'll tell you something, Kieran Smith is on there. So that is a mean call. I tell you what, somebody's scratched the Wolf in the wrong place there. He's given that really, really early. Now, definite curveball coming. He's still got the energy to type as he sat there in that group. That is going to make things very interesting for our riders. Absolutely mean as we come in running down in towards the underpass. Just going to ride in with the gang now. Looks like Rich Orr just going to do the red beacon duties. Thank you very much, Rich, and all of our volunteers doing that. The red beacon, I think, is going to be busy tonight because you can just see it is all over the place. Now let's see just where that gang is as they come through here. We're going to watch them. It looks like the gang coming up onto this climb, and just watching the back of this pack here. Let's see who's going to be in trouble. This is where the gaps are now. Joff, come on, get finger out, mate. Really needs to push on here. Joff Watson making his way up, trying to get into that group. Josh Mayland putting out some big numbers here, 6.8 watts per kilo, just trying to close in on the back of the front of the group. That is tight. Garfoot just about holding the wheels here. Langmead's doing the same. You've got to get in that group quick. If you don't get across, that gap goes, you are in trouble. Let's take a look back. This is a look back from Carl Johnson, who's on the back of the group here. Maitland's going to make this and go through. So looking very, very busy on that. And that was a mean call by the Wolf as he goes up and under the underpass. You just see the group are just spreading out now as they make their way through there. Well, really interesting to watch now the gaps opening up around the riders. The front group just started to really string this out. This is our chasing group now, and just riding in with Team Tim Cooper here as they make their way down that straight. So Cooper it is at the moment, who are just working their way around that turn. Really looks like this chasing group. This is the second group on the road. You can see that gap. It's about 3 seconds from this little, it's a mini group behind the main group. So this is now group 2 that have been fractured from the front group. So let's jump up to the very front of the group, take a look back. So you can just see group number 2 trying to close down on the back wheels. Just in with Chris Idale from Veloskin here, one of our key supporters. Tom Elliott in this group, Jeff Saysel, Andy Ady, Dej, Matt Gilmore, looks like Kimberley, Tashil Waller, Kieran Smith in here, Booth in here as well. It is absolutely fast as at the moment. No, so that group are going to be coming in towards Trafalgar Square, and soon be making their way in and past the column. So in they come. So around the right turn they go now. It is going to be 1 lap to go at the line. This is group number 1, the second group just behind, chasing hard at the moment. And if we take a look back from this group, you can just see the gaps opening up behind. They're starting to stretch out that lead as they come in and down the mall. This is our leading group of riders. You can see that second group chasing behind. The gap is opening though. This is going to make things very difficult now. Interesting, nobody going for this sprint particularly. I don't think. I think Coyle just putting on a big gas here, trying to move up from his 9.9. The pack was moving quicker. Has he improved on that? We're going to see at 9.9 on the way through. Looks like he's not improved on that time round. So a number of people getting a new fastest time. Brave move sprinting at that point, because this is where you're going to see it break. If you put a big dig in on the front, we're going to try and get up in the air, I think, here, try and get a good view here. Tasha Waller, Coyle, Kieran Smith on the front. Kieran Smith is pushing here, you know, 5.5 watts per kilo, 6.5 watts per kilo. This group at the moment just trying to close him down, but he went early. Nobody's surely going to go for the finish on this course on the Greater London Flat here on the Donny Chaingang live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Remote link in by myself and Matt Payne on the mic. Don't forget, of course, if you've got questions or queries, you can get hold of me on Facebook, on the Donny Chaingang Facebook page. You can get in touch via the web page, which is donnychaingang.co.uk. This is our second group on the road. This is the chasing group, and looks like Birmingham Pillsworth just trying to make the way up. A number of people who we would expect to be right up at the front now caught out by this early move by the yellow beacon. 7 seconds is the gap from Group 1 to Group 2. Group 2 just taking a look back. We can't see anybody in the distance now behind, so these two groups really clear up at the front. And again, looks like another attack going off the front, at the very front of the group. Who's going down the road? We're going to just try and get a quick look on the road. Oh well, what a surprise is that. Kieran Smith putting in another dig off the front. So it is indeed Kieran Smith. He's not got the right bike for this course, but you know what? He is giving it some and really starting to break the scoop. Now Bertie Widdowson goes in through, and it's Widdowson on the front with a slight gap opening up behind him. The second group on the road working well, and the third group just going up towards that turn at the moment. Remember, if you are distanced by the main group, key thing on the Donny Chaingang is to pull the pack together. So let's take a little bit of a rundown from group number 1. This is group number 1 on the road. We're going to try and work our way down. So group number 1 at the moment are race ride leaders. No, it's a ride, but it is a cracking group. So this is the leaders at the moment. Then group number 2 on the road, they are at 12 seconds. So let's take a look. This is group 2, 12 seconds for group number 2. They're just making the way downstream. So 12 seconds from our leaders. And then behind this group at the moment, we're just going to take a little bit of a jump back from this group. It is going to be a group number 2 now. Just going to drop in. I think it's the Steve Cannon group. We're just going to take a little bit of a check to see if Steve is in the next group down. Easier said than done. So this is a group number 3, just making its way along. So group 3, and a real who's who in this group. And just having a little look at some of these names in here, people like Runner and Cohen there. A little bit further back, we've got the Chris Canham group. So Chris Canham's Rodney, Gail Phillips, Sean Ferron in here. Looks like a little bit further back then, this is Andy Scollin. We've got Beefy, that's coming from Cycle. We've got Emma Dooley in here, we've got Gary Pattinson. Then let's take a drop back from them past Topping. We're going to try and get back to the Andy Farrell group. So let's have a little check in this group. So this is the Andy Farrell group at the moment, just making the way down into towards that turn. So we've got at the moment Andy Farrell in here. We've got Emma Payne. We've got Ian Taylor. We've got looks like Miss Cookies in this gang as well. So these are the riders at the moment in this group. We can drop back one more go. This is Sonia Inslee. Sonia is trying to chase on at the moment. So Sonia at about 4 seconds of the group in front. We're going to jump back in. This is our leaders though at the moment, just making the way around down past, have gone past Buckingham Palace, now heading alongside the river at the moment. So really busy here on the Donny Chaingang live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. The riders are working well at the moment and just trying to stretch the gaps between themselves. If they're up on the front, the chasers though are working well behind, but that gap is opening out. That early call by Jimmy Allen catching a number of riders out, but a real who's who up here. Good to see Neil from the Crosscast in here, the gritty man making his way up into the front group once again on that Tron bike. Best all-round bike on Zwift, the Zwift Concept 1. And if you're going to have your own game, you might as well have your own bike. It's the best all-round bike, let's face it. Who wouldn't do that? So just taking a look at them, a real mix of riders. Got people like Hudson in here, the young 14-year-old in this group. Stuart Kimberley in here, Harry Hudson, Rob Varty, Tom Elliott, Phil Osakay, Jeff Saisel, Chris Sadler, Craig Herring, Andy Ross, Chris Iredale in there, Bertie Widdowson, Andy Ross, Tom Lindley, Darren Waller, Matt Gilmore is in here as well. It really is a who's who of riders on the Donny Chaingang. Interestingly, Kieran Smith in here. Kieran not doing too much work. As we take a look back from Kimberley at the moment, he's our leader and the of this bout, but quickly comes off the front. So Stuart Lindley, a real fast moving group here today as our leaders continue alongside the road. They'll soon be taking that right hand turn and heading up on towards the top of the climb. Just going to try and take a run out of the back of this group now. This is group 2. It's still sitting close at the moment. It is really close. So we can see 14 seconds. They are not losing too much time at the moment. Neil Birmingham driving on at the moment and working well. So it looks like the Andy Hawes, Ian Taylor, Emma Payne group just run, trying to get Sonia back into the group a bit further up the road. And it is going to be a real cagey number here. The messages are flying between the riders. Mike Gilmore in here, already back into his blue jersey. The youngster clearly tech savvy enough to get those jerseys changed over quickly. Greg Booker is in here as well. I can see Greg. So Richardson in this back crease in here. The group though are riding seriously as smoothly as they make their way along. I'm not sure who my money is on the this leading group. It's still a big pack to be dragging up from the side of the river, which is where we are now. So Kieran Smith giving it the I'm dead act. Nobody believes you, Kieran. Come on, we all know you're just like going to be bouncing once it comes in towards the line. So Bertie in here, Pete Drabble in this group, Tom Elliott in the group, Sadler in this back, Craig Bucket in here. Are we going to see a long range attack? Are we going to see it close in? It's going to go mad. The question is, can it go mad before on the underpass? We'll see. Past the empty bidon and head out on to the final section of this run in towards the Serpentine, in towards Hyde Park Corner. Currently this slight downhill section just jellies the legs nicely. You can just see we've got the left, right 90-degree turns before turning on and along past Harrods, and then taking the underpass. So 19 seconds behind, the gap comes in at 19 seconds. Rob Wimble just taking a go at the front as West comes up, Saxton to Cooper in here, in Bale, Martin in this group, Mills in here. It is pretty close together then at group number 3 on the road. This is Jason Stevens, Dick Samore, John Garfer in here, Carl Briggs, Dr. D